we go. On the road. Tony Sun. Order.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is Wednesday, February 2nd, 2011. This is your Midnight Squadron podcast. Tonight we're trying out Genio. He's going to be petitioning to be a co-host for the show. So, when this is all said and done, let us all know what you think about it. Let us all know. Give him feedback. The dude needs it. I think he'd really like to do this. But in any case, you're going to get to hear him talk soon enough. But first, I'd like to go over what we're going to be talking about tonight. As this is a test run, I'd like to inform you all that the podcast typically will be a lot looser in format. It's really important to note that this is going to be a fun show. It's not always going to be about business, and I understand these recordings tend to be a little bit business-like, so bear with us. This is just getting started, and please enjoy the podcast. So our first topic today was talk about MS personally, and we're going to be seamlessly transferring between topics. So viewership, please let us know if you sort of noticed where the transition happened, if it was really obvious. If it was seamless, also let us know, because that's good for us. Sometimes we might be a little bit overly protective of our own work, so it's really important that you let us know exactly where we're screwing up so we can fix it. So Genio, when I joined when I joined Midnight Squadron, I think it was probably January of last year, 2010, and Cleric contacted me, Cleric being the recruiter for the Secret World Division on the Secret World forums, also known as Dark Demon Cries Gaia. And I was dead set on never, ever joining this guild. I'm serious, because I looked at it and I said, they just recruit anyone they want to, don't they? Man, Zerg Recruiting Guild, forget this, man. But for some reason, man, just the way Cleric approached me, he's like, I think you would be a valued asset to our already booming populace that is Midnight Squadron. And I'm like, okay, this sounds pretty cool, man. I'm gonna go in there and I'm gonna throw all my accolades out. I'm gonna tell them about how I play in tournaments and I'm a PvPer and all this different stuff. So, I mean, I'm really curious. What was it about you that, like, I don't know, what got you into Midnight Squadron?
Well, hello all. Well, when I joined was like 2 years ago, and I joined just because the community in all the European places is just not good, because they just tend to be very aggressive and not welcome because you say I, then they don't respond. So I joined because I just like American clans. They do a lot of work. They are very forthcoming and they are very friendly and things like that. And I joined. And for no game, apparently, I just stick there and said, this will be a good clan for me. So that's why I joined.
So you just joined because you wanted to join? I mean, really, you just said, oh, well, this looks good.
Yeah, that's basically it.
There's nothing else. I mean, there's no like, man, I need to be here. It's my day.
No history back. No history back. It was just pure joining because community can be very biting and they can be very asset.
Yeah, I heard that. So I mean, like, what is it you like about Midnight Squadron, man? Because we've never really talked. I mean, you've been here longer than I have, but we just don't talk.
Yeah, well, first I just love the guys. I love the flow that it adds. I love being a little Portuguese guy among all those Americans and and being so friendly to them, and they are just awesome people. It's like a family, I think, for my case.
Yeah, I think the whole family aspect is what I really like. I've made quite a few friends here myself, like now friends that I wouldn't even game without, essentially. It's just a really fun community for me, too. I mean, I guess I joined for the Secret World, but now I'm sort of a part of Guild Wars 2, sort of, in a way, the Old Republic, just because I've sort of, networked with the community. I guess I've still part of the Secret World in League of Legends. So I just have my fingers in all sorts of different things in the guild, and it's welcome. They enjoy it, man. They're like, hey man, join us up, man, and get going. That's Cav pretty much kicks me in the butt and says, go do your thing, and I'm pretty cool with that because it makes me feel important. God knows I need an ego boost every once in a while. I'm not too fond of myself. I'm just fucking around, dude. Oh, dang it! I gotta stop cussing. Cav's gonna kill me for that. Yeah, about that. This podcast is going to be PG-13, hopefully without a lot of curse words. But dude, I will slip once in a while, so I apologize. Just so you know, this might be for ears 17 and up. Just so you know. I don't know if Genio do you curse?
Well, I can curse, but it's just so not in my brain because I gotta curse in Portuguese, then I gotta go back to my brain, and the impulses come back to my mouth. It's really weird, but I can curse.
All right. So, I mean, I don't know about you. Like, are you still looking forward to the Secret World? Is that still the top of your radar? Is that the most anticipated game that you have right now, dude? Because I am about to die over the wait for Guild Wars 2.
Man, the most that I'm waiting for is like Old Republic because I'm a big fan of Star Wars. I cannot deny it. It's in my blood. I'm a Star Wars fan. So the one that I'm really looking for is the Star Wars.
It's funny. The thing about Star Wars and Guild Wars is that it seems like the two communities are in tandem. Everyone's looking forward to both of these games. And even if you're only looking forward to one of them, it's sort of like people don't care. It's, oh, you're looking forward to Guild Wars? Oh, man, I'm looking forward to Star Wars. That's really cool. Whereas if you're talking about a game like World of Warcraft and something else that's coming out, people are liable to go feud each other. They don't want to hear it. You're not looking forward to the same game as I'm looking forward to. Forget you. I don't care about what you're looking forward to then.
Yeah, well, it seems like Guild Wars and Star Wars are much too entangled. It looks like they have the similar tastes or the similar gamer tastes. So I think both games will be awesome and better. Well, how much just better get his grips together because he's going to take a stole. So.
Well, man, I think it's actually just because people are so tired of the current stream of games that they want something so new, and they're just relying on these two upcoming titles to fulfill all of their gaming needs. So they sort of invest with both of them because they realize, or they think, not realize, that maybe just putting all my chips in with one game is not the smartest idea. And I mean, I guess I see where they're coming from, but I've never understood why people can't like more than one game. They even if they don't play more than one game, what's the deal? Why can't they like more than one game? Everyone gets so offended. They're like, forget WoW. I like Eve. Eve's a lot better than WoW. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know what I'm saying. Well, but it can be very time consuming to play multiple games. I know it because I do it sometimes, and I just tend to forget another game and going back to another one and try to go back to another one. It's really not much good idea, but generally people do it, and well, it's a gamer. If you consider yourself a gamer, well, you got a game, so.
I guess, man. I'm a big fan of World of Warcraft, even though I haven't played it for a year and a half, me personally. And I'm also a big fan of EVE Online, even though I've never played it for more than a month and a half at a time. It's just that I like EVE, but it's too time consuming, and I like WoW, but I don't enjoy the end game. So if I went back, I'd know I'd only be paying a $15 monthly fee and a new client fee just to play Cataclysm and just to level up. But I mean, I don't want to. I never. But the problem is I don't want to play an MMORPG if I don't have this end-game goal. But I don't want to have an end-game goal with World of Warcraft because it's just like I've done the PvP. I've gotten Gladiator a couple times. I've done the PvE. I've cleared the top-tiered boss at the time. I don't want to keep chasing the carrot on a stick that I never get. You'll never be as accomplished as those high-up guilds unless you're willing to attribute 7 days a week to your rating, and on Eve you'll never be as progressed if you don't invest a certain amount of hours a day, like say 4 to 6 hours a day. I mean that's probably generous because a lot of people dedicate more. I think that's the thing, man. Because like the Old Republic and Guild Wars 2, they seem like games you could play for an hour and accomplish something, or you can play for 6 hours and really accomplish something. And there's always that sort of chase, and I think that's what a lot of people look for in the MMO genre. Is even if they're PvPing and it's fun for them. You look at a game like Black Ops, for example, and it's just like the whole point is to player versus player, first-person shooter combat, and level up. And then start over again after you do a prestige. So, I mean, you can tell people don't really care about that carrot on a stick. They just sort of do. They play. And I think that's where people really have their fun.
Yeah, well, people really get the leveling stuff much too serious because I go out there and I just see people like hugging the corners and just expect someone to pass by them and just get the point from that one and just go to another one and get the point from that. Well, I experienced it in Black Ops because the community in there is just awful because you say I and then they don't say anything. So people are just more important first the score and then the commadership and the other guys. So
it's all about the community, essentially.
Well, it's just like the points first and foremost the score. They get about the score and nothing else.
So, what you're saying is it's not exactly a community, but it's more like how many accolades you can accrue, like how many times did I place in first place, kind of thing.
Yeah, it tends to be that, and people annoying one another. I see that a lot.
Well, I think people do that just because they have small penises. That's just me, though.
Yeah, maybe true. I don't know about Portuguese, but okay. I won't quote you on that.
You can. I promise. You can quote. They have small penises, and that's why they get mad at each other.
Well, now they talk about Eve. That's one game in the tire of my collection. One game that always pulls me to go back. I just love the game.
Does some part of you wish that it was a little bit different though, that you could accomplish a little bit more in a shorter amount of time? Maybe because I mean I'd love to play Eve, but I love the travel system. I love the feeling that when you're going towards a low sec system, it gets really dangerous, and you sort of have to avoid gate traps, or you have to avoid if you're traveling in a frigate, for example, just to cart a few little things. And you're going through a low sec system because you have to for some reason. You sort of have to avoid the big ships and the traps they set up for you. I mean, but I love all that. That can all stay if you ask me. But I mean, you could accomplish a little bit more in a shorter amount of time, maybe.
Yeah, that's what I get in that game. It's just because, well, you get the more money from mining, for instance, in low sec, and it's just so thrilling and so how should I say it, like fulfilling that you have been mining in low sec and just got away with it. And it's so amusing to do that. That's what always pulls me to the game. It's just going in low sec and try to avoid all of those people that want to screw you around for money. But yeah, it can be very, very unfulfilling for the guys that start, and they gotta learn a lot of things as they start. It's a lot of time consuming and learning. It's just too many things on it, but the game is awesome. I love it.
Yeah, I agree. There's nothing that will rival that to me for a very, very long time as a sandbox experience. I was going to try.
Yeah.
I mean, I really love that sandbox type game. I'd say it's probably my favorite medium, but I think it has to be heavily controlled for it to appeal to most people. I mean, like, would you say I mean, I love sandboxes, okay?